Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together.
Better now than never. Business before pleasure. Sullivan Show here on a Sunday night. Good evening, United States of America. Before we start the show, I have a message for you from Keith Grieve, producer extraordinaire.
Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000, another turned $2 into $10,000, and a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Thank you, Keith. And, much better reads than what I do. And DraftKings.com, please go check it out. It's it's good for people like me, and if you're like me, where you have a tad too much ADHD, and can't remember to set lineups, or you're disorganized, perfect for you. And I'm sure the people that are listening to this show have many qualities and traits like that.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I got distracted.
Exactly. Even my producer's distracted. Well, for the first hour, I will be talking to Keith. And in the second hour, I'll have Jacob Padilla from BrightSideOfTheSun.com and the Greatonian. Keith, today in football has been, it's been odd. First off, the Bears won. That's an oddity in itself.
Lately.
Yeah, and the Packers put up 50 again against the Eagles. And what were we talking about? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Whenever it was, about Mark Sanchez all of a sudden being some knight in shining armor for the Eagles that were already good to begin with. He's not good. He's still not good. Why is the love fest with Mark Sanchez over again?
Well, the thing is that I don't think any intelligent football fans, yes, I said that, I don't think any intelligent football fans actually thought that last week was really enough. I mean, with the effort he put out against, was it the Panthers last week? Their secondary is
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Panthers.
Yeah, their secondary is nothing to shout about. And Green Bay's defense, since their bye week, I hate to sound all stupid because really the only change was made was sliding Clay Matthews inside. But if that is what's going to turn the tide here and make a difference, then holy crap for the rest of the league. Because if they suddenly found a way to pressure quarterbacks and stop, running games. I mean, LaShawn McCoy, 23 rushes for 88 yards today. Sanchez threw the ball 44 times for 346 and 2 TDs still. But you know what? That was mostly after the game was already decided. The Packers rolling up 53 points against them. It just where can you go? The Eagles. I'm trying to look right now at the stats. This is the dangers of operating without a rundown, by the way.
Me doing improv essentially for questions. Yeah, not a recipe for success.
Sanchez threw 2 picks, and he also lost 2 fumbles. So there's your Mark Sanchez. That's what he is. That's what he does. And you cannot give the Packers offense those kind of extra chances. Just ask Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears; they will tell you. But Rodgers, 22 of 36 for 341, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's the difference when you talk about what Aaron Rodgers does better than anybody else. He just doesn't take any chances, yet still finds a way to throw the deep ball. I don't think they really talk about that much enough with Aaron Rodgers. They talk about how he doesn't throw picks, but he still is capable of throwing the deep ball, where a lot of these guys, like Alex Smith, doesn't take any chances, but he's not going to throw a deep ball. Whether it's because he can or he can't, you will never see him attempt it. And I think that's the unique mix with Aaron Rodgers. It's what Peyton Manning does so well, too.
Yeah. Looking at this... Sanchez, the sad thing is he didn't even have the most turnovers in the division by a quarterback. That right belongs to Eli Manning. 5 interceptions. I'm of the thought that, it's happened before where, Giants fans, myself included, I get into this, oh man, maybe it's time to look elsewhere from Eli. And then the following year, even during those years, he'll wind up winning a Super Bowl. Same thing with Coughlin. So I'm not too bent out of shape about it, but it's because I have a feeling like things will turn around. But this offense, not really Eli's strength, throwing a lot of quick passes, and West Coast offense, not for Eli, it appears.
How about this? Andy Lee, the 49ers punter, had a higher quarterback rating in this game than Eli Manning.
Yeah.
So,
not good.
Yeah.
With when you're looking at the NFC East, do you think they need Foles back to win this division? And even without Foles, do you think they have enough to, wind up beating out the Cowboys? Do you think the Cowboys will choke down the stretch?
Well, it all depends with the Cowboys. It sounds silly, but it all depends on Tony Romo, because not that Romo has done really all that much hero football this year, but he has the capability, the arm to keep defenses honest, and Brandon Weeden just isn't that kind of player. The good news is that next week they come off their bye and they go to the Giants, which is great. But then the week after, they're home against the Philadelphia Eagles in a very, very important football game. Hopefully Romo is back at 100% for that. Do I think the Cowboys will fade? They play at the Giants, like I said, and home against the Eagles. Then they travel to Chicago, to Philadelphia, home against Indianapolis, and then away at the Redskins, which is not an easy game on the road. So even if they finish that 500, if they go 3-3, they're still at 10-6. And you look at the Eagles with Nick Foles not coming back. Whew, I tell you, if they only have to win, if they have to win 4 of their final games, they're playing home against Tennessee, at Dallas, home against Seattle, home against Dallas, at Washington, at the Giants. With Sanchez, I don't think they beat Seattle. I don't think they beat Dallas on the road. And I don't think they beat Washington on the road. So you might see this still staying tight and come down to some kind of weird tie-breaking formula that just irritates the crap out of people.
You're listening to the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com. If you want to call in, the number is 585-633-7487. Keith, I guess staying in the NFC East, press conference by Robert Griffin today, a little confusing. Every time he comes back from an injury, it's like, okay, Redskins, their problems are solved. And then we go back to criticizing Robert Griffin III. Should they just go back to Colt McCoy? Because he seemed to be a decent fit in this offense. Or what do you do if you're the Redskins at quarterback?
Well, unfortunately for Colt McCoy, it comes down to money, because you don't pay Robert Griffin III that kind of money, waste a first-round pick on a backup. It's just the way it is. But Colt McCoy had a nice outing. won a big game for them. But at the end of the day, Robert Griffin III gives you the best chance to win. Now, whether he does or not actually lives up to that is a question to answer in the offseason. But for where they are right now, you gain absolutely nothing by swapping quarterbacks. You just do. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, the Subway commercials have started to stop. There's trouble when I assume Skip Bayless will never jump off the bandwagon, but it just doesn't seem good for Robert Griffin III. And in the Redskins, this has been every time they seem like they have a ray of hope, it gets dashed very quickly in recent years. And Jay Gruden, I'm not sure. I can't figure out. The play calling just seems questionable at times with the Redskins.
Well, you can't argue with any of that there. But can we talk about Washington's defense as well? I mean, Washington held the ball for 34 minutes in this game.
True.
Okay, so they lose this game 27-7, and granted, nobody likes to see turnovers. Two interceptions by Robert Griffin III, like we said. They were 4 of 13 on third downs, rather. The Buccaneers were 3 of 10 on third down. So it's like you're starting to pick apart here. What really is the issue here? The Washington defense made Josh McCown look like an All-Pro. A 137 rating on the day, 15 of 23 for 288 and 2 touchdowns. It's on a day where the Buccaneers only rushed for 48 yards on 21 attempts. You flip the script. Washington ran the ball 31 times for 155 yards. So, to me, 2 turnovers does not equal two interceptions does not equal a 20-point deficit to me. So, while it's easy to hang this on Robert Griffin III, and he did not play well enough and did not perform, getting sacked 6 times doesn't really help the cause either. I don't really think you can really hang this all on him.
What happened to this defense? It just, it seems like they should have decent players. Injuries, pop up from time to time. It just, I don't. This defense was solid for Griffin's first year, and it's just gone downhill since. Obviously, they need offensive line help. There's a lot of help they need. I don't know. Just ever since the Jim Zorn days, it just hasn't looked very promising for this organization. Mike Shanahan was a disaster. The coaches, it's just been disaster after disaster. There's not enough talk about how bad Daniel Snyder is, and there's a lot of talk of how bad he is. But his personnel moves, you want to criticize Jerry Jones. Look just inside that division. It's unbelievable how many free agent blunders he's had, coaching blunders. You want to take an organization away from a man, take it away from him.
Well, you look at the Redskins coming into this game. They were the second worst rated pass coverage team at ProFootballFocus.com. Okay, the only team worse than them was the Carolina Panthers, the ones who made Mark Sanchez look serviceable. Okay. Let me ask you this. Can you name me a single Washington Redskins starting cornerback right now?
Darryl Green and Deion Sanders.
That's my point. There's just no real talent. Tracy Porter is actually a nickel or dime back on this team. But Bashad Breeland, okay, and David Amerson are not going to do it for you at the corners. They're not yet at this point anyway. Brandon Merriweather is vastly overrated, and Ryan Clark's 206 years old. So where are you going in the secondary?
Yeah, I'm not. I would stay away from. You got to draft a corner, or I guess in Washington you got to sign a washed-up cornerback to help out. But yeah, it's a mess there. And speaking of messes, the NFC South. Are we going to get a under 500 team in the playoffs this year? I always love when that happens. Is it going to happen this year?
Well, there's no way.
Tampa Bay's still in the hunt.